Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Your host, the Raven here, back with some more Neverwinter action. The Lost City of Omu has just been released. It is February 27th, 2018. I've been looking forward to a new module because I've com- I haven't I've completed. I got 100% advancement on the jungles of Chult. I got all the boons. I haven't completed the hunters list or whatever. Excuse me. I haven't completed that, but I think it's so unnecessary. They put a lot of junk, in my personal opinion, a lot of fillers into these campaign trees, especially the worst culprits being Tyranny of Dragons and Storm King's Thunder. It just goes on and on and on. You need more and more and more and more things. It can be really a real grind fest. So anyway, I was glad for new content because I've done Chult. I like Chult. I like the new area. I like the new city. I like the new style. I like the difficulty of the enemies. My personal feeling is that they did that. They made the enemy stronger, so to prevent bots and stuff. Things of that nature. That's my opinion, but who knows? But anyway, I like it. It keeps you on your toes. The enemies are unique. Fighting them is unique experience, and same thing with the Lost City of Omu. I recorded this, fresh. I haven't been in here before. All these quests are brand new to me, so it takes me a little bit, it takes me longer than maybe most, I guess, because I'm new to the area. But I kind of like that. I want to give y'all a fresh experience or whatever. I want to give y'all, this is me like playing it for the first time or whatnot. So anyway, we have this Eku lady. I think she's cool. I like the style of the Cholton people. I like the way they come up with this whole culture. This fake culture, this Cholton culture or whatever. It's so unique. It's because when you're in Neverwinter, you got Baldur's Gate, you got Luskan, you got all these areas or whatever, but you can't tell like where someone's from. Like, there's no like Luskan guys, or there's no. I mean, okay, with the Icewind Dale people, you can tell because they're always in furs and things of that nature. But most of the time, it's like you don't know where they're from. Everybody just looks, they're just in. Looks like they're from Neverwinter. You can't tell. But with Chult, it's like a whole new like culture, things of that nature. Whole new style of dress. So I think it's really unique, and also they come with unique set of problems. With the enemies, the snake, the Yuan Ti people, the snake creatures, and the jungle creatures are just really, really powerful enemies. And once again, I think they're fun to fight. I like the Batiri, although they can hand you some cheap deaths. They can give you a little bit of salt, the Batiri. But as you gain in power, you get over. You get killed less, or whatever. Things get easier on you, so it's not so bad. I like this guy too. I think the Aarakocra race, or the bird people. I think they look creepy as hell. That's my honest opinion. They just look creepy. The males, the females, the ones that look like eagles, the ones that look like ravens. And here, this person, she's like the Khajiit in Skyrim, or the Elder Scrolls, a cat race of people. It seems like every fantasy area has, a race of cat people or whatever. But anyway, the Aarakocra, they are like when you first meet them in the air gardens or whatever, the elemental air, area is like, it's like, wow, I like them because they're unique and new and fresh. But I just can't get over their bird heads. Like, they'll have human bodies and human hands and stuff, but yet they have these gigantic like bird heads that don't even look a little bit like zero human features whatsoever. It's just like somebody cut somebody's head off, cut off the head of a giant bird, or they went to the Ark and they killed one of those friggin' hawk things. I can't think of their name. Argentavis. They killed an Argentavis. They took his head and they jammed it on like some dude's body or whatever, and then they sewed it together like a Frankenstein and stuck it up there, and it's like talking to you and trying to give you a quest, and you're just looking at it like, are you serious? You know what I mean? It's insane. So but hey, but I'm pretty sure that there's the opposite opinions out there. Folks think they're cool. Anyway, we got here and like these guys. They're also a well-known group in Neverwinter, and inside the Sword Coast area. But once again, I can't tell if he's Zentarm. The Zentarm dressed a little bit more darkly, so you can see minor differences if you look, but most of the time they're just who they are. I mean, you can't tell what region they're from. So yeah, that's just why I like Cho. Anyway, so far as the scenery, that's another reason I like the new content, both the jungles of Chult and the lost city of Omu, is because we've been getting a lot of frozen lands. I like Neverwinter City. I like the Well of Dragons. I like Sharandar. Sharandar is really awesome. The Thayan encampment, it's cool. It's not my favorite, but it is unique. It gives off its own vibe or whatever, that darkness or whatever. Here I'm fighting these gorillas because I want to test out, the strength of the enemies in the new area. Every time they come out with a new area, a new module, the enemies get more difficult. So I want to test that out. And these gorillas are hardy and they're powerful. So, it's gonna, yeah, it gives me some intel right there. So anyway, but yeah, I like a lot of the older environments or whatever. But one thing I was tired of was frozen areas. We got frozen lands with Icewind Dale content, and and that was really long. Like the Icewind Dale content, I forgot the official name of the campaign tree or whatever. It's when you first go through it, collecting that black ice, it's a long time. It took a long time. I was so glad when I finished that. You just get this profound sense of relief. Me and my friends, we talk about it, it's like, yeah, man, it was long as hell. And then just when you've done that, guess what? They come out with Storm King Thunder, and it's more ice land, more ice, more frozen areas, and it's long as hell too. And you don't have, and instead of collecting black ice, you're collecting Vonin blood, and it's just this ongoing slog of collecting items in these barren, like featureless, just rocks and snow, rocks and snow. I do think the dragon statues and the frozen ice people and creatures in Bryn Shander are pretty cool, but that can only carry an area so far. I do like Lonelywood. I will say that I do like the Storm King Thunder areas because of the music, but I don't, the frozen environment and just the cold theme in general is really annoying to me. I just find it like, okay, it's like you're playing Super Mario Brothers. There's gonna be a grass stage, giant stage, ice stage, fire stage, hell stage or whatever. So you expect an ice stage, but to get to, both the Icewind Dale campaign and the Storm King Thunder campaign, it's like getting two ice worlds in Super Mario Bros. Like, okay, like another ice world? Did y'all run out of ideas? You know what I mean? So that's my ice world rant. I don't like the ice worlds, but Cho, fresh take. And it's not like they just copied Sharandar. Like they could have just copied, which I'm not saying they didn't use any assets or anything from Sharandar. Like why wouldn't they? If it'll work, and it makes the place appealing, why wouldn't you use things that you already have possession of? So anyway, it doesn't look like just let's copy paste Sharandar, but put different kind of people in it and say it's a different area. It is totally unique. The ferns, the plants, the statues for the the ruins, things of that nature. They're unique. It's a unique area. It's a unique environment. There's flowers. And also another reason why I agree with the difficulty of the enemies in the jungle areas is because it also goes with the theme. This is primal. This is the jungle. There's no rules but the rule of survival. You know what I mean? Either eat or be eaten, that type deal. So that it makes sense that there's giant tarantulas and dinosaurs. It does get frustrating. I mean, getting knocked, dismounted, by a Deinonychus or raptors for the umpteenth time. or a Tyrannosaurus or something even more annoying. You know what I mean? It's like that it sucks. You're like, man, screw this. But that aside, there's no perfect, no area is perfect or whatever. But still, though, I can agree with the difficulty of the area just for the fact that it matches the environment, it matches the story of the quests. It makes sense. It matches. When gameplay and storyboard and artwork all come together, that it just makes a really good place, and that's why I really like the jungle areas. I think they did such a good job with those. Especially the Jungles of Choke campaign isn't very long. Like I say, I've already gotten all boons, and I've gotten all the quests. Go to the House of Crocodile, all that kind of stuff. I got that. So it's like, and if for the final two things on the hunter side, I got the first hunter thing, but I didn't get the second two. Like, it's only like what, both of them combined, maybe 400 totems. You get 25, you get 50 a week from Celeste if you do both House of the Crocodile and Shrines of Ubtao. So that's 50. You get, I think, another 50 from Wakanga Otamu, the merchant prince, because he gives you the weekly choked. I think it's choked in trials, and something else. Daily. Prove this or that for the jungle. Whatever the name of it is, but you get 25 a pop. So 20 or 25. So that's 100 a week. Plus you can earn as many as you want to on your own up to the weekly limit that you have in your campaign tree. Which, if you have House of Crocodile unlocked in a campaign ladder, you should be able to get a lot of shrines in a week. So it's like it's almost nothing to collect. If you feel like doing it. Me, I like to just I recommend taking all campaigns, piece by piece. But no matter how short or how grindy and long, they're still gonna take time. Even the quickest ones like Underdark and Choke. I would say Underdark, Choke, and River District are probably the Cloaked Ascendancy. That's the name of it, the Cloaked Ascendancy. As you can see here, I'm looking for this stupid marker. I have no idea where it is. I don't know what the marker looks like. I don't know what to expect, so I just know it's in this area, so I'm looking around. But anyway, the short ones, yeah, the Cloaked Ascendancy, the Underdark campaign, and Jungles of Choke. Those are the shortest, but you're still gonna spend some, weeks doing them. So, there's never let's do this one real quick. It's never good to have that attitude. It's always good to have an attitude of patience, and just know that some are just gonna be really long hauls. Like, I don't expect to finish the Storm King Thunder campaign. I need the last two boons. And I need to unlock the Stormbreaker's Island or whatever. So, but I don't expect to have that done for like, maybe a month, 2 months, because it just, you can only get so much Bryn Shander reputation, a week. And there's nothing you can do about the cap. And then also, I don't want to spend my life, in Bryn Shander doing quests over and over to try to get the campaign done. Like, I know that, especially as a YouTuber, there's that pressure to do it. Like, oh my gosh, there's new content. Oh my gosh, I need the latest gear or the most power so I can put up, the best videos of the newest stuff or whatever. So, I understand that. But for me, it's a hobby, not a job. So, like, I'd rather, if I'm not having fun, it's definitely not going to be fun for you guys. So, yeah, piece by piece, everything in moderation, a little bit at a time, blah, 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 pick your way of interpretation or whatnot. Anyway, these are new enemies too, the Neverwinter. When I first saw them, I knew it said raptor. I thought they were the Endonychus, or there's a dinosaur in the Jungle of Choke that's one of the rare spawns or whatever, and it's got the stripes on it. That's what I thought they were. So I'm like, okay, well, let me, test these one out. But no, they're Neverwinter. They're different. They put a powerful stun on you. I bet you if there was those guys plus maybe like another group of enemies like you're aggroed against, that'd be a that's a nightmare because they stun a lot. It's very quick. Now here's Dionychus, which if you've been to Choke, if you're able to come to the city of Omu, then all about Dionychus. I don't have to explain jack about them. You know what I mean. So anyway, also one thing I like to note is they brought back the lizard monsters from the pirate area. I've always liked when I first started the game, and you're coming up and you're doing the first worlds or whatever. There's a river, there's the river district, then there's Never Death Graveyard, Icefire's Peak, the flying rock, there's pirates or whatever. But when you get to the pirate area, I love the floating rocks. I love the lore. The characters are really cool. I just really like that area, and I like the lizard enemies. They're very, I like the way they fought and this and that, the different type, blah blah blah. So it's good to see them back in the city of Omu. Here, I'm thinking this has something to do with the quest I'm on, so I'm trying it. I'm thinking that maybe that the scouting rock that I'm looking for is hidden on top, and that's why I can't find it because I'm looking around that little circle. I don't see anything. So I figure you have to get up top. Maybe it's hidden on a rooftop or something like that. So I use that wind thing. Come to find out, there is something glowing down there, and that's it. And this is my first time doing the quest, so if you don't know what to look for, you don't know what to look for. So I'm very excited to find it. Actually find one, and now I know what I'm looking for. It makes it easier to find the others because when you're just blindly looking around for anything, any kind of glowing area, rune, or sparkly, the sparkly telltale, manipulative object that you can interact with or whatever. When you don't know what it is, but you're looking for something, you don't see anything, it can be frustrating. So yeah, that's what they look like, little rocks, like little granite, almost like gravestone markers, with red, like a red plaque in the center. That's what they kind of look like. That's what they look like to me. And so anyway, that's what we're looking for. More lizard enemies, and then there's undead enemies. I am annoyed. I will say I'm annoyed with Thans. There are Thans in this area, and like to me that's so irritating. Like there's Thans in the Well of Dragons. There's Thans in the jungles of Cho. There's Thans here. It's like, okay, where do the Thans not aren't involved? Like, come on. Like, yeah, I know they're big, and then they're in the Dread Ring. You know what I mean? The whole Dread Ring is Thans. And Valendra, that whole quest line, all that is Thans. So it's like, I know they're a big part of Dungeons and Dragons. I know that they have a lot of lands and stuff. But come on, man. Sooner or later they gotta be stretched very, very thin. And like, how many people want to be? I guess if you grow up in the land of Thay, you're forced to be a necromancer or some kind of evil magician of some form or whatever. You don't have a choice. But still, though, a lot of them, they're waging a war against Neverwinter in the Dread Ring. So that takes an army. That's and they're being killed. Neverwinter people are being killed, but they're being killed too. So they're taking losses in this war. They're spread out in all these lands. Like, either they're forcing people to join up and become Thayan, sorcerer or whatever, or they're pumping out a lot of babies and they are raising they are like just getting crunk, like getting training these kids or whatever. Because I mean, dang, you need a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? That's not gonna just come from anywhere. Maybe Thayan is like this gigantic nation, or it has a lot of people, like the nations of India and China or whatever. It was just like just a lot of people. Maybe that could be the case. I'm not 100%. I don't know. I'm not super into the lore of Thay or whatever. But there's got to be an explanation behind that, because there's a lot of Thayans. They're everywhere and it's irritating. So yeah, Thayans not happy to see. But I really love that. Also, even though both the city of Omu and Chult take place in the same continent, in the same area, once again, unlike the with the Sharandar example, they don't. It's not a copy paste. It's not like, oh well, let's just take Sharandar, or well, let's just take the jungles of Cho, flip it so the players go through it backwards, and bam, we got our new area. Like, the walls are new, these ruin areas are new. Like I say, I'm not saying that every single asset used, visual asset, is brand spanking new, but it just lets you know, hey, this is a new area, and it's in the same style, but it's not the same. So, as it should be. So I'm, yeah, really enjoying that. Um, I may dislike the presence of the Thabe. That doesn't mean I dislike fighting them. For some reason, as a control wizard, I like to battle other wizards or whatever, especially PVE setting, because it's like, oh, you think you can cast a spell on my friends? Like, no, I'll show you how to cast spells. And like, bam, bam, bam. So there's that kind of thing. I guess that's a little bit of pride, probably some pride involved. But yeah, I like, so I think they're spread out too thin. I think there's Thans everywhere, but not the worst. And this is a surprising enemy here. The friggin' well, that thing obviously, but the Will-o'-the-Wisp, that has been one of my companions for a long time. You can't get the Will-o'-Wisp companion. It grants, I think, 15% control bonus and 15 and 10% control resist, something like that. It boosts your control bonus. I highly recommend it for CW. Now this thing here, the Razor Tyrannosaurus, I'm not strong enough to beat to solo the Tyrannosauruses that are in choke. I usually wait for a group or whatever. So like, there was no way in hell I was gonna fight this thing by myself or whatever. But since I see there are people fighting it, plus it aggro. One thing about the Tyrannosaurus Rex, when they roar, they aggro other creatures around them against them. And I know those gorillas are pretty powerful and sturdy. So I'm thinking, okay, I see a couple of human players plus a mob of gorillas. I'm thinking they may be stronger than the T-Rex in choke, but still, not invincible. And so, hey, join in, and I'm right. It's powerful, but we're able to get it. We're able to work it down. You know what I mean? So that's a good thing. And I like that. You can notice there is a scale in power, but it's not a huge jump. Which I think that's why people didn't like choke as much, is because coming from, even I think before that, Storm King Thunder, no, the Cloaked Ascendancy, the River District, that probably had the most powerful enemies, level 73 enemies, I think. And I remember when I first got to the River District content, I did notice that they were pretty tough. I didn't have the worst time with them, but they were pretty powerful. But the ones in choke, like when you get to choke, like you just get killed so many times because you don't know how to fight the creatures. You're new to situations, and then they're powerful. They take those dinosaurs are really, they take a lot of damage. They soak up hits. So when you first get there, you're like, crap. There's even a boon. One of the boons on the choke ladder is defense against dinosaurs, or do more do more damage against dinosaurs. So that's how strong they are. I bet you a lot of people would pick those boons just because the dinosaurs were such a problem to them. Hopefully as they gotten stronger, they respec, and in my personal opinion, I think it'd be wiser to respec later, as you get stronger, because you don't want to be locked into boons that only work on specific enemies. You want boons that are universal, that go across the board, because dinosaurs are only in Choke and only in Omu. You're not gonna, or dungeons and skirmishes that have something to do with them or whatever. So you're not gonna, that's only like what, 5% of the game or whatever. So like, using boons just for something that only works on a small percentage of the game, I don't think it's wise. Sometimes you don't have a choice, like in the Underdark campaign, but if you have a choice, I say pick something else. So anyway, there's my quick advice on that. But yeah, the dinosaurs are really powerful. I think that's what a big problem that a lot of people had with the choke was it just a big jump between the dinosaurs and the river district or any of the other previous enemies. If you weren't already really, really high item level, it was a significant difference. Whatever. I welcome the challenge, and I also believe as a control wizard, I did have a little. You always have a little bit of an edge because a lot of the big problem with choke and the dinosaurs and the Batiri is like large groups of enemies, large numbers of enemies at once, swarms of goblins, packs of raptors, packs of compies, whole like squadrons of Batiri, and if you accidentally aggro more than one group, which happens a lot, you might be facing 10, 15 enemies, and for a lot of classes, that's a that's a tall order. I mean, you might be, really powerful, great weapon fighter or trickster rogue, but if you can only, hit one or two guys, maybe three guys or four guys at a time, you know, and that's a big handicap against, you're fighting 10 plus enemies, and some of them hang back. They're gonna hang back and cast spells and throw spears. So it's like that's a very difficult challenge for classes that don't have lots of AOE or crowd control abilities. So that's another reason probably why I like the jungle content a little bit more than I'm not saying that I've heard bad. I've never heard bad on it, but everyone I've talked to is like, man, the monsters are crazy. Like it's very, very difficult. So, not saying bad. And throughout this video, I don't think I've even made that clear. But no, I haven't heard bad on Cho. It's just the fact that it's pretty difficult. Like I don't, I never heard anybody be like, oh yeah, man, Cho was so easy. I mean, there's probably that 16K Guardian fighter or great weapon fighter or whatever, 16K, 17K, super champion CW, and you just ace the whole place in like a month and a half. You beat the campaign or whatever. Congratulations. But for most, it's difficult. Anyway, that's the end of the quest. That final marker there, and that cave looks ominous, and that's another reason why I like this area. Finding stuff like that, seeing things where you're like, oh crap, even as a seasoned adventurer, all my campaigns and going to different lands and stuff in Neverwinter, you see a giant cave that's dark and it's in the middle of the jungle that has like zombie curse and all these evil entities or whatever. That can be frightening, you know what I mean? And to get that feeling, that really draws me into the story and into the area. I really like that. That cave looks ominous as hell. I'm scared to go in there, but hopefully I can get on there with some of my friends. We can go in there, find some cool stuff. So anyway, we'll talk to her, turn in this quest. I'm your host, The Raven. I really appreciate you watching. Stay tuned for more content on my channel from Neverwinter and other games. You can comment if you like. Hit the like button if you like this video. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And always have a great day.
The Omuan people once worshipped the 9 trickster gods, but when Asera came, he locked them away in his tomb. Still, they have some measure of power, which we can use.